Happy Sunday, everybody. We call it Aloha Sunday. One more day, and it's Monday. I guess we can say the week has begun. And what you guys up to today? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Pray all is well, guys. Pray all is well. Like I mentioned to you guys this whole week, we were talking about cleaning out the feces within your worship. But today we are going to talk about how it all started. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it all started. And as you all come in, don't forget to hit that like button. I am going to, let's see, I am going to do this. And I'm going to make sure that I come in here. As you all come in, we are going to fix this thing right now. Welcome, welcome, guys. Come on in here. Come on in here. Let's see. There we go. We're going to get this thing started. Hi, everybody. My name is Paulette. We are definitely going to have a little chit chat. Today is Sunday, and I want to talk about how I met my Boaz. Okay. Me and my husband, we are going on a total of 23 years of marriage. And I think it's time for me to share with you guys how we started. When I was back in high school getting ready to head into college. Well, actually, not back in high school. I was in college on my last year of college. And my husband basically threw a text by mistake. I guess he was in the military at the time, planning on coming all the way down to Honduras. And basically, he sent a text, according to his side of the story, he sent a text for all the people that he could find. And back then they had a thing called Black Planet, which is like equivalent to like a Facebook, if you want to mention. And he came in, guys, and he was just saying hi. He said hi, and I said hi back. Well, my cousin was there at the time, so she knew how to handle the internet. And back in 1999, you remember they were talking about 2000s, that the whole world was going to come to an end. They had so much thing to talk about in the 2000s. Well, right then was the time frame that I got a email from him and said, "Hello, how are you doing today?" And I did not respond. 6 months went by. My hubby was just, future hubby at the time. I didn't know, but he was just sending me a whole bunch of hellos, a whole bunch of hellos. I never responded because the internet was new at the time. I did not know, you know, how to go and check the notes on Black Planet. So, guys, let me tell you, after 6 months, my cousin came up and she was like, "Paulette, have you recheck your messages?" And I was like, "Girl, I don't even know how to know recheck. I'm in my finals, trying to finish up with all of this." I was taking out my double bachelor's in marketing and international business on the side with accounting, certified public accounting at the time. So she gets in, come in, and she pulled up the computer. Back then they had that computer with the big butts, and they didn't have any flat screen. It was just the big butt computer, the one that you had to plug in and wait for it to boost up. So she boosted up, we connected. It was dial up back at the day, and it came on, guys. And let me tell you, he had texted me for the last 6 months. "Hello, I can see you online. I see you. Hello, what's going on?" And I never responded because I didn't know that how to check the notes in on Black Planet. For those that is not aware, Black Planet is no longer here anymore. I think they already eliminated that because the new thing is Facebook, and then Instagram came into play, and and the rest is history. So when she checked it, he was just saying, "Hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi." And I'm not gonna lie, when I basically sat there and saw this person was so consistent with communicating, let me tell you, what's for you and what God has for you is for you, and nobody can have that. I don't care how much people try to sabotage you, how much people try their best to try and just think they're stealing something from you, God always kicks in right on time, okay? So what's for you is for you, and nobody can stop that. No human being on planet can stop what God has for you. They can try now because they be trying, but you know what? Wakanda, we gonna block it, okay? So at the end of the day, guys, she came in, we chit chatted, um, saw all of the messages that he had sent to me, and I finally responded. Well, when I responded at that time, I didn't know that he was deployed, so he did not respond back to me. I was like, man, I miss my Boaz just like that. I mean, by the way, guys, going back from the beginning, um, before my grandmother passed away, we I was brought up in the church, and yes, it probably was falsehood. It was not holiness back then. I was brought up Methodist, and we basically lived in church. Everything was all guided, Monday prayer meeting, Tuesday this. I think only Tuesday we had off because Wednesday we had prayer, and Thursday was Woman's Day, like Sunday school and Bible study, and we had a whole lot going on back then. But I just want you guys to know that I was brought up under that, so that's all I knew, and that's why even in the faith today in holiness, it's like second nature for me because I'm already used to, doing a routine, getting used to those morning routines. Like I always mention to you guys, it's something that's very important. So as I was, in that process of still continuously focusing on what I've been taught all my life, up come this individual, and he's texting me and saying, so on and so forth. Hello, social media. Social media, I'm just talking about how I met my Boaz, which is my husband for the last 23 years. And I think I wanted to share that today because I don't think I ever shared a full story with you guys on how we met. So if you're just coming in, don't forget to hit that like button, and we're going to go right back to it. So I give you guys a little bit of the background of where I came from, straight in the church, brought up and raised. And then after that, guys, my husband basically, which is of today, which is my Boaz, he just kept texting, as I was mentioning to you guys, for the whole 6 months. And when my cousin came back up, she went and opened up the note, and all the messages came out, and it was like, hey, I see you online, hey, everything is okay, hey. And he was just communicating, hi, Mythical, how are you today? Hope all is well. Welcome in. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm just sharing my story of how I met my husband, which is my Boaz, and basically, I think I wanted to share that with you guys. So, after all of that, guys, we got all the emails, checked it and all that, and I emailed him, not knowing at the time that he was basically a part on a mission, so he could not respond to me on at that moment in time. Now, going back to what I was telling you with my grandmother, I prayed for my husband of today. Yes, we prayed back then, guys. I wrote a list of what it is that I wanted and what I didn't want. And on that list, everything I asked for, even the age, guys, I got. I asked for 28 at the time. I always wanted somebody to be 5 to 6 years older than me. I wanted somebody that's on the same ambition level and above. I thought that was very important, especially if you're single and you're aiming to look for your partner, lifelong partner. You want somebody that you're not dragging along with you on your journey. You want him to be on the same ambition level or above. So I pray for that as well. And God always answers prayers, especially if you believe and you have faith that he is going to come through to you. Well, he sure did for me. So everything that I asked for, I prayed a whole year consistently. When I tell you the focus was on it, because I was like, you know what? I'm already like 20, 22, going on 23. You want to sit down, you want to eventually find somebody that's going to be worth your while, and you have to put some time into it. Now, in the meantime of that year of me praying, I was also making sure that I could adjust who I was as an individual. Because what happens, guys, is that sometimes we be looking for that specific individual, and excuse me, And we have a lot of thesis within us that needs to be adjusted. Okay. A lot of times we are looking for that individual and we want them to be like this, like this, like this, like this, and like that. And then all of a sudden, guys, you have issues that you need to figure out. Nobody want to marry in or find somebody with a bunch of issues that's unsolved issues. You want to make sure that you are dealing with you before you can start trying to deal with somebody else. So at the end of the day, that's what happened, guys. I went on and I stated I needed to work on me. So in that process of me seeking and praying for, you know, for my future spouse and the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, I was also working on me because no individual is perfect. We all have our flaws. We all have things that we need to adjust. We need to fix. We need to make sure that we can, polish a little bit more. And at that time, Paulette still needed to work on. I still got things I need to work on. We are all a work in progress, but at least I was not in denial. You have to work on certain things, especially if you haven't found, that Boaz. You better chisel up. You better chisel up because for statistically, for one man, he can choose up to not in holiness now, but statistically, for one man, there's 8 women that he can choose. Not at the same time, guys, but just put a lot of pressure on a woman because you're not like one for one anymore. You're talking about one man that could possibly be your Boaz, and you're going to have a total of 8 to 9 women out there aiming for that one man. So you ladies, y'all need to chisel up. Y'all need to get it together because at the end of the day, guys, you're in competition. You're in a constant competition with individuals that may be on a different level than you, may not be as smart or educated, may have a few little flaws here and there, but you want to make sure that you can be the one that he's going to pick. So you need to chisel up on yourself. So at the end of the day, guys, I definitely wanted to let you all know that in that moment in time when I received those emails, and thank goodness for my cousin, I basically was able to respond to him. Now, about 3 to 4 weeks went by. He did not respond. So I was, in my feelings like, I guess it was not meant to be. Well, when he came back, like 2 to 3 weeks later, guys, he responded like that. And he was like, we started to communicate. Mind you, I'm on the island and he is in the United States. So I'm in the Caribbean and he's in the United States. For me, that was perfect because we were brought up where, everybody in their own space until you put a ring and you get married down the aisle. That's when, everything else happens. It's like, psh, y'all know what I mean. So I was already raised like that. So for me, even it was a good thing in one way that he was in a totally different country and I was in a country and we were communicated and we basically communicated, guys, for a full year. Not in the same location. He was one location and I was in the next location, which is similar how, sometimes is advised. No, everybody is different, guys. When you all are courting and you're finding yourself, your Boaz, some of you guys just prefer to be together in one space, but sometimes it's best to be in separate locations because that way you get to know the person, you get to learn their routines, and we communicated basically every day. He will call me every day. If you all want to find out if he's interested in you, he's going to call you every day. And the day that he don't call you, girl, let me tell you something happened. Like you guys start to learn each other's character. You start to learn each other's behaviors. You start to learn the topics of the focus that he's on. Mind you, I pray for my husband. Like I was a whole year praying for him. Everything was happening every 12 months, something. I prayed for 12 months. Boom, he appeared. And then I prayed for another 12 months. We communicated. He was just what I was looking for. He had his master's degree at the time. I was finishing up my bachelor's, my double bachelor's, and he had his master's degree. So at the end of the day, guys, he was on a higher ambition level than me or above. So that was the number one thing. The other thing was he had to be 5 to 6 years older than me. He was, I even asked for a little bow-legged in there, and yes, he is. He have a little bit of bow-legged. Yes. So, prayer answers a lot of questions that you may have, and just keep praying, guys. It's not going to happen right away, but if you have the faith that whatever you pray for, it's going to come through. So backing back up, we communicated for a whole year. He was all the way in the US. I was still in the Caribbean. We would talk after school because I also was structured. I had school in the morning all the way till the evening. Then I worked while I was going to college as well. Not that I have to, but I work because that's the work ethic. I don't know if you all listening to some of my other beginning videos that I mentioned to you guys, that in our family, yeah, my grandmother may have, you know, her and my grandfather had their things together. However, though, that was theirs. We couldn't enjoy it while they were here, but they wanted us to create our own. And that's where the work ethic come in. And it came in and it worked in handy. All of me, my brothers, everybody has that work ethic, and they get out and work and they do what they got to do, because you have to create for yourself. You can't be holding on to mommy and daddy's coattail for the rest of your life. So that's how we were brought up. Everybody in every family is different, but we had everything we needed, and we were taught how to fish. We were not giving fishes. So every family is different. My family, we were taught how to fish. So I worked in college, and I wanted to work too, because there's always extra money that you could do for yourself, right? You could buy your own little stuff. It was a little bit of freedom when you were also working a little part-time somewhere else, as your parents help push you or help you through school with a big financing portion. But by the way, that's what happened with me with that part. And I go to school. So he didn't have time to talk to me until after school. And then I didn't have a lot of time to talk either, because I was you know, on the top of my game. I need to study because the next day school come around again. And I didn't know no better at the time. When I went into school, it wasn't no little 2 to 3 class. Paulette was taking like 5 to 6 class, sometimes 7 class in college, guys. Yes. Yes, it was crazy. We call it college. No, when I went in to take out my marketing and international business, I was taking classes. It was like, psh, let's go. We want to get this out of the way, because remember, I was also praying at the same time for my Boaz. I wanted to marry. I knew that it wasn't no little side chick here, no little side chick there. We didn't believe in common marriages where you just living together just to exist. I was not brought up like that. Thank God, that was not something that was dealt to me in that time in my life, because we were not raised that way. It was when you leave the house and you are already legally married, and bye bye, don't come back, that type of stuff. So to catch you guys up on that, I was going to school, I was working, and at the same time, that's when he communicated with me and just was on his hello on Black Planet. And then after that, guys, my cousin came 6 months later. We opened it up. We start communicating. I communicated back with him, but I didn't want to come across thirsty, okay? So remind you, we had to stay, a little, you gotta like, hey, I see you, like, okay. But inside, I so wanted to like, hurry up, man, like, you're taking too long to hurry, ask me. So long story short, guys, he ended up responding like 2 to 3 weeks later, because he was in a deployment. He was deployed, and normally you're not allowed to communicate. Sometimes they take you off grid and all that good stuff. I learned that after I figure out the military. But he ended up coming back. We responded. We communicated for that whole year. And one Christmas. And by the way, guys, on Black Planet, only now I'm posting my pictures and stuff. Back then, I didn't have a picture. What my husband fell in love with was my personality. The personality, and I was always aiming for something. And what attracted me to him was the same thing. He was aiming for something. It was like, where are you going to be in the, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? These are the questions we were asking. Because remember, when you're looking to find your Boaz, you're also sizing up to see, is this something that we can do together? Is this a relationship that we can grow as we continue on in our life? And I need to know where you are mentally. I don't want you to say, I'm thinking, hey, we're going to start a business, and you're thinking, well, I just want to buy that next bicycle. That mean you're not clinging together. You're thinking about spending, and I'm thinking about focusing on building something. So make sure that when you guys are looking for your next Boaz, that you're asking the right questions. You're asking them as well of to understand, are they the spender? Are they going to be the one that's going to be reserved when it comes to finances? Are they going to be the person that's going to open up and both of y'all can build something together? Or are they going to be the one that's going to watch you do all the building and they just come in and take the benefit? You need to learn each other when you communicate. So don't rush into anything. Communicate, ask the tough questions. Yes, you want to talk about how many degrees you have. How many jobs have you worked at the same time? Ask the questions about what's in how much money you spend a week. They sound crazy to you, but you need to find out who's gonna be the next person. Remember, you only got one chance. You can't marry and divorce the next day and be like, oh my God, I guess you're not it. I'm gonna find the next person. That's the person that you're gonna be with the rest of your life, good, bad, or indifferent. That's your Boaz that you picked. So my thing was, I will ask the questions. So where do you see yourself in the next year? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? And then it went to where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And all of what his response was aligning with what I already have, because I'm also looking for my next partner that we can venture out together and build together. So at the end of the day, we ended up communicating. I found out his fifth year. I found out his um his 10th year. My husband, when I met him, he had the boats, he had the motorcycles, he had the car, he had everything. A Camaro. I'll never forget the red Camaro, the that Camaro that was electric. He had all of that. But that was not my interest. I was never a materialistic person. I didn't care for it. And mind you, it was maybe because of the way that I was brought up that, material things didn't matter. If you have it, I always had. That's one thing. Thank God for my parents and my grandparents. I never did without. I mean, I had have, no golden bicycle, but I didn't need it. I had a bicycle. That was it. We didn't have any car back then because on the island cars, you have one and two here and there, but we had everything that we needed when it came to the TVs. Back then, my grandmother was the only, there was color TV that came out. It was her house and the Warrens that had the color TVs. Everybody else didn't have it because that was a different level. So just to let you all know, material things for me, it was never something that I'm like, yay, yay. No, I didn't care about that. I still don't care about material things. I come in just the other day, my friend, yesterday, and we were pulling up and she was selling some, actually, shout out to my friend Leeks. She makes and create her own little juices. And she came in, guys, and she was like, you know what, Paulette? I'm gonna you know, I'm going to sell these things. Will you support me? I said, yeah, I'll support you. And she pulled up to me and she was like, oh my God, Paulette. Ooh, look at your ride. And I'm like, it's just a car. You see, for me, it's just a car. For other people, it's like, oh my gosh, So I don't see things like how some see. For me, it's just a house. It's just a car. Am I grateful? I am grateful. Yes, I have a roof over my head. I have a car to drive me point A to point B. And thank God, that I was able to buy, well, not me, my husband, what he had to offer. But at the end of the day, going back to this story, guys, so he responded to me. We communicated. We were asked all the questions. Make sure that you're getting all those questions out, because if you're not getting those questions out and you don't set your boundaries from the beginning, don't be pulling up there after you're married talking about you're going to set boundaries. Okay? You're looking like a fool. Okay? Ask your questions from the beginning, set your boundaries from the beginning, so that way afterwards you don't have any issues. So that's what I did. So for me, I was, in one way I was glad, God gift, that he was in America and I was in the in on the island. So that December I didn't have any pictures on my page because I didn't know who he was. I was like, I ain't put my pictures up there. I'm just getting used to this internet. Why would I want to put a picture up there to turn around and you just do something crazy? So I didn't put any pictures up there. On this, after the year of us communicating, he had pictures up there. He had all his toys up there, because he's a man, and he's like, I need to make sure that all the girls know that I got this and that and this. I didn't care for none of that. So December, he asked me, well, I fell in love with your personality. You're gonna be my wife. This is what he told me in December, and I was like, oh, this guy is crazy. What if he's some psychopath or something and just talking to talk? I'm not a big talk to talk. Show me what you mean. Okay, don't talk to talk and all this talk. No. You show me, show me what's going on, and then that's how we're going to work. So he was like, I already proved to you that I'm interested. I'm going to come down there. And then I said, he's really crazy. He's going to come from America all the way to the island. I said, Lord, I said, why you do this to me? I've been faithful. I've been, keeping it together. I'm just going to church, going to school, going to work, and read, and what do you call it now? And you do it all over again, like the cycle. I said, and you're sending me some crazy people. And little did I know that that was my Boaz. And he said, this is what we're going to do. He said, you're going to be my wife. No. Back then, that's when there were these people, snipers. I don't know if you all heard that. Remember the story of all the snipers that were going around, just boom, boom, booming people wherever they were. And I said, he probably some family members to one of them. That's what I thought. I didn't know any better. Okay, the news give you what they want to drop on you. You believe what you want to believe. So I ended up like, yeah, you're not coming nowhere. Whatever. I said, it was great while it lasted. A whole year. You had somebody that was like your best friend at that time. You all talk. And one thing too, he never, even though I made it clear from the beginning, my background, where I'm from, I also clarify, where I was at when it come to, you know, Paulette. I was not, it ain't no coming trying to knock no boots because we're not in that lane yet. And I said, boom, boom, I laid it out for him. I said, where how I was brought up and my principles is you gonna marry me if you want me. It ain't no buying no milk. You gonna marry the cow. And that was laid out from the beginning. So that was our boundaries. There weren't no sharing, nothing. My mind was so focused on I was actually so into school and focus on other things that part of my life did not bother me at all because I already knew what the standard was. And when you find somebody that's in it for you, they ain't worried about that part of your life. They're focusing on if they're also trying to figure out if they can tolerate you for the rest of their life. Both angles. You're wondering, can I tolerate this person? And he's wondering, can I tolerate this person? I mean, yeah, none of us are perfect, but can I tolerate this person? So that's where we were at, asking the questions. He passed all the stuff. Come to find out, he had already took out his master's degree and all that good stuff that a person that's finishing up college was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So he ended up telling me in December if I could send a picture with him. So I said, okay, I'm gonna send you a picture. I sent him I took a nice little picture. Back then, we could wear pants back then, guys. So I had on my little pants and my little, I look good. I was always reserved, by the way. I didn't show too much stuff. So my pants was like baggy, but it was still decent. And I had my belt cinched in and I looked pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? She was cute. And then back then, I didn't do two-strand twists. What I did was I had my hair braided. So I had it braided up in a do as always. And by the time I came in, And I sent him that picture. He was head over heels. He was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that you were so this and you were so that." And I was like, "Really?" Growing up, I always thought I was not the cutest because everybody else was dating. And I told you guys this in a few videos back. When everybody was dating except me, I was like, "Man, I'm that ugly that nobody cared to even date me." And came to find out, they were like, "Girl, you were just serious. You didn't play that." So that's why we did not, bother to even try to come at you because you were just different, and you know what I came to find out, it's nothing wrong with being different. It's nothing wrong with being different. It's okay to be different. I do not want to be like the others. Okay, Paulette was always been unique, different. So I sent the picture, and then that 31st of December, I sent it on around the first part of December. On the 31st of December, mind you, I did not know at the time that he was in the military. I didn't ask all those questions. I just wanted to know future. Where are you going to be in 2 years? Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Long term and short term goals. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know, what's your degree? Is your bank account in red? Like, you need to ask those questions. Is your bank account in red? How much when you get your check, do you just get the check stub, or you really get the money that hit the account? Or by the time the money hit the account, it's gone. Like, you need to ask these questions because you need to know who you're dealing with, who you're working with. So we took care of all that, sent the picture to him. He was head over heels. And on the 31st of December, he went to visit his parents. And when he visited, well, his mom, because his dad passed. He's no longer here with us. But his mom, and he called me so I could say hello to his mom. And he said, "Oh, I'm coming to visit you." He said, "You're going to be my wife." And I said, "Oh." This happened December 31st. I thought he was playing with me, guys. In March, the 22nd of March, he arrived he arrived on the island. Sorry, my son is in the background, just excited. So if you hear anything, sorry. He arrived on the 22nd of March. Okay. On the and he was like, going to join the military. So here I am, I have to pick him up from the airport at that time. And I said, "Well, where are you going to go? Because you can't come to me in my house, so what are you doing?" But he said, "No, I'm going to join. The bus is going to be at the airport. He just wanted to see me." I said, "Oh, okay." Yes, guys, we had standards. We draw the line. He knew a year prior where I stood. So when he came in, even though I didn't care about no military, I didn't even know about no military at the time. But when he arrived, he was like, "No, I have the Soda Corner bus is gonna take me on the airport, but I just wanted to see you in person." And he's like, the last person, he was like the last person coming off of the airplane. I was like, this guy played me. I felt so stupid. Like, oh, I go on the airport, I see the bus, but I don't see everybody else came out except him. And when he came out, guys, let me tell you something. He was the last person. I had already decided I was leaving. So I was going down the hill. If you all never been to Tegucigalpa, you have to go down the hill to catch the cheaper cabs, because if you catch the cabs on the at the top, they're gonna charge you like 4 times more. So I already knew the area. So I was walking down the hill to get down to the street to catch a cab. And I heard the person say, "Paulette." And I looked back. Oh, that was my Boaz. So I cheered. I said, "Oh, I thought you were playing with me. I didn't know you were never, I thought you were not going to come. I thought you had just played me." And I felt so stupid. And he's like, "No, I wasn't playing. I was serious." He said, "You're going to be my wife." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "But you can't be my wife unless you ask my parents for my hand." Now, listen, guys. Now, I'm not going to lie. That was a little bit much. Okay. A year communicating with somebody, spending all that money calling from the United States to a different country. And we talked forever, ever, ever. Okay. We could talk for like 2, 3 hours. That man said he was broke by the time he met me in person. And I was like, "And then you still got to ask me my parents?" He's like, "You're 22 years old and a half. You're going to be 23 years old. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Hey, that's just the rules. That's how we do it." And he said, "No problem then." So he ended up going on the bus. Nope, he went on the bus to the military. That's when I saw him and realized, "Oh, you are in the military. Oh, you for real, real." So went in the bus to the military. I end up going back to school because Sodacano is like, I would say like an hour or maybe 2 hours away to Comayagüela. So, I was on Tegucigalpa and he was like 2 to 3 hours away from me in Comayagüela. So when he left to go up to that Sunday, he left to go to Sotocano. I was not able to see him now till the following week. Well, before the following week, he already knew the plans because we had already set boundaries from a year prior, right? Yeah. Ain't no touchy touch. No, no, no. Not here, Jack. Okay. Paulette had a name. all I had was my name. Okay. That's all I had. So I had to keep my name. So he came down and he's like, you know what? I need to meet your parents because I see that you're serious. I thought you were just playing, but you're really serious about this. So let's meet the parents and I could let them ask for your hand. So my husband is a pilot, by the way, and he flies Chinooks. So at the end of the day, he ended up coming back that 22nd of March. I don't know you guys summer, but we have our summertime right around April. It was forming right around in April time frame. And right around in April time frame, I was getting ready to go home because we were gonna have Good Friday. For you guys that are not from the island, and if any of my island sisters up in here, y'all know we have Good Friday. Well, this Good Friday was gonna be in April time frame. 22nd of March, he came down. He met my parents on the 22nd of April. Okay, he came down 22nd of April. 22nd of May, I got engaged. All this happened, and yes, just like how I'm telling you the story, because I want to take you all somewhere. 22nd of May, I got engaged. On the 23rd of November that same year, I got married to my Boaz, okay? The man of my life. My husband of 23 years old, 23 years, I was saying 23 years old. Well, I was married at around that time. So my husband of 23 years today on the 23rd of November. And let me tell you guys, I wouldn't change nothing. Okay? I did it the way that God say to do it. I did not shortcut nothing. I focused on what was right and I found my Boaz that respected that. So when I got married, that was my first encounter with anything. That's the only thing I know. Okay? My Boaz of 23 years old. I don't know what nobody else looked like, neither do I care. But I'm just letting you guys know is even though I was in falsehood, I still was brought up right in the church. Falseness, but it was still done right. And because I respected my grandmother and my mother and my parents, I honor them by following the rules, which was Christ-like. Okay? So at the end of the day, guys, I just want you all to know, don't rush nothing. To all my single girls out there, don't rush nothing. If he's for you, ain't nothing you could do wrong. Okay, the joke with one of my nieces right now. She started to date and everything, and her sister be bothering her, and she's like telling her boyfriend because the same thing, the same plan. We all make sure that everybody know the rules, and that one is following through. So her sister is like, Paulette. She said, Auntie Paulette, and I even told him how ugly her toes was, and he looked at her toes, and he's like, oh, she have the prettiest toes. I love her toes, her crooked toes. So at the end of the day, I don't care how you look. You don't have to put on no extra facade. You don't have to do nothing extra. You just need to follow the yellow brick road. What God has for you is for you, and nobody can't take it away. As much as those extra 7 to 8 women who's next to you aiming for that same man may come in as a distraction sometimes with you, just note, guys, that what's for you. Okay? And you don't have to put on anything extra. Be yourself. Be yourself. Do the right thing. Don't rush nothing. And at the end of the day, you will have your Boaz. Okay? And Boaz is going to find you. You don't have to find Boaz. He found you. Didn't he find her? Ruth and Naomi, he gonna find you. As long as you're cleaning up your feces in your worship, you're taking care of you, correcting bad behaviors from your past, forgiving yourself for those bad behaviors from your past, if you had any, or forgiving others that probably tampered you. Make sure that you clean up your feces, because when you meet Boaz, you don't want to be telling Boaz about no shoulda, coulda, wouldas of your past. He don't want to hear that. This man want a future wife. He wants somebody that can aim to go somewhere with him on a roller coaster or wherever you may call it, and he don't need no extra negativity. So all your negativeness, all of your little ups and down roller coasters, make sure that you guys are cleaning all that up, because nobody wants to be a part of none of that. Let me get in here with all of this good old comments. I'm seeing a bunch of comments up in here. Let me get from the beginning so I can shout you guys out. I'm telling you guys, hold on, give me a second. Hello, social media. Hey, sis, it's so good to see you. Welcome into Life with Paulette. You say, hey, beautiful sis, how are you doing? All is well here. Today, I just wanted to talk about how I found my Boaz. And, I just wanted to share my stories. Hopefully, it inspires somebody out there. If you are feeling like it's the end of the world for you, I just want to let you all know to continue to pray. Have faith, because you will definitely find what's for you. And don't get weary in well doing. Okay? Don't get weary in well doing. What's for you is yours, and nobody can take it from you as much as they try. Okay? As much as people would try, you make sure you do the right thing. Make sure that you are focused, continuously focused on God, focus on your daddy Jesus and his word, and he's going to make sure that Boaz pull up on you. Okay? And when Boaz pull up on you, he ain't going nowhere either. Ain't nothing you could say. You could cut off everything and say, we're not doing this, not doing that, we ain't doing the next thing. Let me tell you guys, what is for you is for you. And my husband was for me. I prayed for him, okay? I prayed for a whole year for that man. And Lord sent him to me. And we going on 23 years, happily married. That man loved me well. He loves me well, and I him. And I am grateful for that. I have no regrets. No regrets. No regrets at all. Let's see. Hello, Mitiko. How are you, sister? Hey, sis. Come on in here. Hope all is well with you. I'm doing well. How about you? Okay, they're communicating. Let's see. Hello, Zane. Did you hear about Charlie Kirk? Yes, I did. And I just want to say, for anyone that lost, I actually spoke about him yesterday and all the other ones that lost their life. Anybody that's out there that, you know, was wrongfully done anything, I pray for their families. I pray for them. I'm so sorry that we have entitled people these day and time that can just feel like they can take away. They didn't give you your life, but they want to take it away from you. So I don't care what side you're on, good, bad, or indifferent with that man. He was wrong. What was done for him was wrong. And if it's not corrected, it will a matter of time before something like that may happen to one of you and your loved ones. So just let's keep pray up, keep on the full armor of God. And let's pray for each other, guys. Even our enemies, we got to pray for too, okay? Even the enemies. Let's see. Mythical say, I may end up disconnected, but that's because I'm going to go work. Oh, well, thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by, Mythical. It's so good to see you, girl. But I will have Wi-Fi. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Hello, Brother John. How are you? Hope all is well. Zane, today we're discussing how Paulette met her spouse. Yes, I sure am. You look good. Zane say you look good. Oh, thank you, Zane. Welcome into Life with Paulette. I appreciate you for dropping by. Mythical Sister Paulette, can I ask you a question? Absolutely. Actually, you guys can ask questions if you have questions. Go ahead and ask questions, because today we are talking about finding your Boaz. Okay, and I share with you guys how I found my husband. 23 years following the yellow brick road. And many may ask, well, is being married, how is that? You're gonna have your good, your bad, and you're gonna have a little bit of ugly days at the beginning, but you know what, you guys learn to merge together as one. That's what God intended for you to be, and you're gonna have indifferences. Some days I see the sky blue, some days my husband may see it orange, but at the end of the day, we always make sure that we meet in the middle, and we don't go to bed angry or frustrated, or a little bit confused with each other. We always talk it out. So that was something that I was taught from a young age as well, talking it out. You may not be able to talk right then, but make sure that before you go to bed and close your eyes, because you don't never know when you're going to wake up. You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. So that's why you don't hold nothing against nobody. I have nothing in my heart against no one. I already prayed. I give it to God. I let it go. Me, Paulette, I have no room for no type of bitterness, no hatred. I don't have no room for that. Okay, so make sure that you're praying, and in your prayers, you ask God on a daily basis to create in you a clean heart and renew the right spirit within you. Some of us are walking around with the wrong spirit, with the wrong heart from the old past. You still have that same heart. There's nothing in there that that's good anymore. You need to clean it and get it renewed out. Okay, so make sure you pray for the right spirit, because sometimes words sometimes don't have to say anything. Just your the way that you're moving, people can see. It's noticeable. Always pray to renew the right spirit within you, because what happened yesterday, the day before that, y'all don't want to have be dragging that same nasty old filthy spirit with you all for the last 5 weeks, 6 week, looking like a clown. Okay, we need to let things go, and we need to keep moving forward. Give it to God, and let's keep moving and finding these Boaz is out there, guys. There's a Boaz for you. All my single girls, there's a Boaz for you. Are you really, really putting some time into it? Okay. All righty. Let's see. Zane say, "Oh, cool." Social media say, "That's right, Paulette." Um, Social media give heart. Okay, they're communicating. Mythical say, "For me, it makes it hard to to focus since I have ADHD." Oh, Mythical, I didn't know you had ADHD. I have cousins that have ADHD, and they found out that when you do have ADHD, find activities that's going to keep you, like, I have family members with ADHD that basically they will do sports. Find things like, cricket ball, basketball, running, helps calm down also your mood, that thing where you always got to keep moving and you can't keep still. That will help sometimes. When it comes to different sports, some folks, they have to go on meds. I don't have My kids are not on meds. My son has seizures, so he has epilepsy, so I have him on the lowest version of meds that I can find. But for those that do have ADHD, like my cousins and I have family members with ADHD, what they do is they try to put the child or themselves in things that's going to always keep them busy. Probably volunteer in the church, volunteer dealing with children, dealing with things that's going to keep that you're enjoying, but it's keeping you busy at the same time. That way you're not sitting there, doing or blowing steam because you don't know how to function with all the quiet. That's just one little hit tip that I will hand out there for you. Social media say, yes, I stayed with a job too. I stay with a job too. Um, Oh, sisters, social media says she stayed with a job too. Yes, that's right. That is right. You stay on that job, sister. You focus. Um, I went to school, and I was in school and I was working. It just teaches you how to fish. So, if where you gonna hear me say, "Oh my God, I can't pay a bill." You ain't gonna hear that out of these lips. You know why? Because at the end of the day, we were taught how to fish. And it was at that moment in time, it probably be like, "Why are you sending me? Why are you telling me that to this?" Or actually, my parents didn't tell me I had to work. From 11 and a half, I wanted to work because I was very independent always. I always wanted to have stuff, my own little cash. They used to call me the bank because they were I would be the one to save the most money. When Christmas come along, I had money. So all my brothers and sisters would borrow, never pay back. Yes, they'll never pay me back. I'm gonna come and collect. I'm collecting. Yes. They will always come and they will definitely do the same thing. So um like I mentioned to you guys, at the end of the day, just keep praying, guys, and stay on your jobs because no man want no lazy woman either. Okay, you want to be able to. What happens? I was listening to Pastor a few days ago, on one of his reruns. Like sometimes on the bench watching, right? And that was one old one, but he was talking about, sometimes, you only have one. So when you marry that person, he may start off good, but what if something happened to your spouse and you have to activate? Are you ready? And he was just explaining about him and his wife. Like if something will happen to him, she have a degree. I think she's in nursing, or if her background is in the medical field, like she could fend for the family. And then he talked about the lazy man and vice versa, lazy woman, but he was more focused on the lazy men. Sometimes you start off good and then all of a sudden you decide you don't want to work ever, that you have amnesia from work, and your spouse got to kick in. What are you gonna do? You're gonna divorce and find somebody else? You're stuck. So learn how to do your thing and handle, just in case, ladies. Go get your degrees, go work, go get your education, climb the ladder if you have to, legally, following the scriptures. However, though, make sure that you can pull your own sometimes. So that way, when both of you found your Boaz, both of you guys can coexist and create the legacy for yourselves. Okay. Because sometimes, like I say, you're going to have that woman out there that's sweating bullets. She's sweating bullets to get that bread, and the husband just sitting down, giving orders. Some men, I'm not saying all of them, Lord help me that that's not me, but I'm just saying there's a woman out there that has to go put the time in, come home, put the time in the house as well before she goes to bed, and then she have a lazy man on the couch just being lazy. So hopefully, I know that's none of my brothers up in here, but I'm just saying that you have those one that does that. So be very, very cautious on who you're picking. Like I say, ask the right questions. Don't be going in there, but he's so cute. Oh my God, you guys see how tall he is? Oh my God, he have a car. Oh, he have guys, and you see the car, but you don't know if he own it. You see the house, but you don't know if it's his mama's. You don't know if he's staying with mama. You don't know. You got to ask the questions. Ask your questions. Do not go rolling up there thinking that what you see on the outside is all it. Ask questions, guys. Otherwise, you're going to fall short. You're going to fall short because you saw the house. You saw the car. You saw, yeah, he was going to a job, but what if he wasn't, like if he was just handing out papers? You don't know. Learn each other's backgrounds, learn from each other before you elope, because you don't have another chance. Okay, so in Spanish, like they say, es mejor juntos pero no revueltos, or juntos, soltera pero mal acompañada. That meaning you could stay single and be happy than to be with somebody and you're mal accompanied. I didn't. I tried to do the translation in that one, but that may not be the right thing. But you all get the drift. Just stay single if you feel like you're not ready yet, and he ain't ready at all. No sense of two unready people come together and and it's not going to work. It's going to be a failure. Okay, so make sure that you know what you're getting into. And marriage is not for everyone. Marriage is not for wimps. Okay, marriage is for people that can handle their responsibility. It's not for the cowards out there. And that goes for man and woman. If you thinking that you're going to marry somebody and everything, and ooh, I found Boaz. You got to put some work in too. Okay, you got to put the work in. It's not going to just be that easy. Both of y'all can make $2, but it all depending if he has some money, or he has plans for you to go work. When Pastor talk about his situation, he already start building up their little family family business. So when his wife had the choice to come out, she could have go right into the family business. Most of you men don't have no plan B. You all just say, "You, I want you to come home." So, but you all can work together. I think you work together until you get to that point. If you're not there yet, I'll suggest you all don't be rushing nothing. Take your time, counsel with your pastor or counsel with your minister in your area, because you pulling her out to tell her you're gonna give her the world and you barely making $7 an hour is not gonna cut it, guys. Y'all gonna be miserable. Okay, I'm just saying. Ask your questions, draw your line and boundaries before it's too late. Social media say no shacking it right. No shacking, even though I did it. Yeah, I don't do no shacking. Don't do no shacking. If your potential loves you and care for you, and I'm gonna speak from my perspective because I've lived this. We spoke before he even arrived. He already knew it weren't no boots rocking here. Okay, nope. It was clear. So once you're clear, then I knew that if I had put that up front, that if he wanted this relationship, it would have been strictly business, meaning I'm coming in. No, that's why he was like, "Oh, girl, we gotta get married because somebody gonna sweep you away from me, and I ain't gonna get this again." So April, everything happened on the 22nd and 23rd. I'm telling you, 22nd of April arrived, 22nd of May engaged, 23rd of November married. Boom, because everything happened in the same year. We had already communicated a whole year prior for those just coming in and hearing me talk. You guys, let me tell you, when God has good plans for you because you're following the rules, you won't have no trouble. And no, don't rush it. Marriage is not to be rushed, guys. Marriage is for you to give you enough time to work on yourself. Work on you. If you're a single man out there, start working on you. Work on your finances, working on getting your 10 toes down at your job, having something that when you pull somebody else out of their comfort space into your space, that you're all not living under an umbrella. Okay, I'm just saying, make sure that you have your end of the bargain straight. So that way, when you bring her out of her comfort space, because trust me, us women, when you're single, you're the one to do everything. You got to pay your rent. You got to do this. You got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay the car. Like, you're independent. You're handling your business. When you find that man and he's looking at you to handle your business and his business, just don't even entertain that. Okay? Don't even entertain that. And by the way, the next thing too, sometimes they always say the opposite does attract. I was the bubbly one. I'm the one that's spontaneous. My husband is the opposite. He's the quiet, reserved, eyes always open. But when he has to be in that alpha, he is the alpha. Okay. And I respect that. From the beginning of our marriage, I know that he was the head and I was going to be, right there behind him. If I have to run behind a tree, I was going to be, just in case God want to snap him somewhere, I would not go be a part of that. But I'm just saying, make sure that you guys know what you're doing. Marriage is not for the cowards. And when you're married, it don't mean that everything is going to be perfect all at once either. It means that you're finding a partner that you're not having to go through life with alone. It means that you're going to share each other together to create something beautiful, a legacy for your future family and for yourself as well. So let's go through here. So social media say ask question, ask the deep question. I agree, Paulette. Yes, ask the deep question. Don't be shy, because if you're asking the right questions, no way he should be offended or she should be offended if you're asking her questions. Now, I'm not saying you got to ask weird questions, but if you're talking about finances, I feel like any individual should be able to communicate and talk about finances. You should be able to open up about your finances, and it shouldn't be any problem. Hello, Brother Tyree. How are you? Hope all is well with you. Welcome in. Welcome in, brother. Brother Tyree say, you heard that the tug is coming to you, sis. Prayers for you getting baptized. I heard that today, and I was like, he was talking the specifics. So That's all I needed to hear. I just wondering, are they coming to all the other islands or is just that one island? So I definitely need to go and call up to see who I can communicate with to get more information, because that's not the island of Honolulu. I think that is the island of Hilo. And he said Hilo, but it's Hilo. So the island of Hilo is where they're going to be at. So I'm going to have to figure out how I can get to the other islands, because one thing around in Hawaii, it seems easy and close, but um it's not as close, but that's my focus. So after I finish here with you guys, I'm gonna be looking in, because when he said that, I was like, oh my God. I don't have to wait till next year. Lord have mercy. Just Hercules, Hercules. So that's where I was at, trying to make sure. I was like, did I hear right? Who's Hilo? And then I looked and I realized, oh, he meant Hilo. But he said, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's Hilo. I'm like, no. So when I looked for the hotel and everything, the only thing I wanted to ask questions too, because you all know that for those that's in here that has been baptized, do I, every, what to call it now? He said it's going to be on the 27th and the 28th. Does that mean that on each night they're going to ask who wants to be baptized, or I have to wait until the 28th to get baptized? Because if that's the case, guys, then I'll probably go and catch one and just pass through, like what he talked about today, about the person coming from South Africa or some part of Africa, rolling on one day, got baptized and rolled out. That will have to be me, because I have to come back for my kids and school and stuff like that. So I won't be able to stay. So if that's the case, if any one of you guys is in here and you're aware of how, if after every end of service, do they offer for baptism, or it just has to be at the last day? Please clarify and let me know, because she will just be in and I have to come back so that I can take care of my kids. But yes, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. Yes, brother Tyrese, I was all ears listening. I was like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be good. Anyway, okay, let me get back to these comments. Hold on, guys. Social media, Sister Paulette, were there anything about your future husband at the time that you were a little bit iffy on and had to pray more about? Let me tell you something. I'm going to be 100% with you. When I met my husband, he had all of his everything in order. He was an officer in the army. He All the foolishness that he guys do crazy stuff. He did that before. So by the time he got to me, he was already been there, done that with a pusher. He was looking for his Naomi. Okay. All right. So at the end of the day, I would not, if I can't tell you if at any time there's things that I was iffy about. I weren't iffy about the things that I prayed for. I prayed for a man that loved God. I prayed for a man that was bow-legged. I prayed for a man that was 5 to 6 years older than me. I wanted a man that was on my ambition level and above. I wanted a man that had a vision, that he was going somewhere, that he could just take me sometimes spontaneously. That's why like right now, guess what, guys? We're going on another vacation. Spontaneous, right? I like that. That's my five love language. Give me stuff, honey. Okay. But I don't want to. One thing I love about my husband, I don't have to tell him. He already know, because when you are loved well and you love well, you would know what the person want, what the person needs, without them even asking you, because you're a good listener. So my husband is a very good listener. Like yesterday, when I told you guys I'm here in my other car, and he calls up and he's like, I just want you to know I put a new took the car to the store because the battery had died on me again. And he's like, I got you a new car, new battery, everything is taken care of. Whenever you're ready, you could come pick up your work car. I was like, oh, okay. He look around the house if there's something to be done, and I don't have to say it because he already know it. So he completes the things. I don't have to say nothing. So honestly, it's nothing that I would want to change on that man. When he came to me, he was equipped. He was very responsible. His finances was perfect. The way that he carried himself. he was also brought up in falsehood in the church, like we would call it falsehood today. But his father was a pastor, which is no longer here with us. But I'm just letting you guys know that everyone, he had some good principles with him as well. So no, there's, at the time, that was just what I asked for. So I got what I asked for. So I hope I answered that to you, sis. And had to pray more about, no. Mm-mm. I prayed a whole year prior, remember, for specifics. So I got what I asked for. So yes, that was that. So social media said, wow, LOL. She said, beautiful. John Smith, Jesus Image Church Africa. Greetings. How are you today? Hope all is well. Welcome into Life with Paulette here. Um, let's see. Social media. A man of his word. Beautiful. Yes, my husband is a man of his word. Yes, he was. Hello, Sister Lynn. How are you? Hey, I'm late, but I'm here. Thank God. Well, I am so grateful to see you, Sister Lynn. Thank you so much for coming and joining Life with Paulette today on this Sunday for a talk. And I know, oh my God, guys, don't let Sister Lynn have a Boaz story too. I can't wait for her to share her Boaz story. I'm telling you, where are all my sisters at that have their Boaz? Huh? Because I just shared if you all missed out on a whole hour worth of Paulette explaining how she found her Boaz, okay, for the last 23 years, y'all go back and you listen and re-listen on and re-catch up, okay? All righty then. Social media say praise. Social media. Oh, Daisy Bell, I like your story. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Daisy. Welcome to Life with Paulette. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Okay, social media say glory to God. Amen. Daisy say, oh my God, so inspiring because I always been focused on my studies and now being 22 years, I have been strict boundaries, but men find me too hard and complicated. Don't worry about that, Daisy. I was the same way. Okay? I encountered the same thing. The right ones is going to come. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't lower your standards. And I must tell us ladies today in this room, up in here. Don't lower your standards to try to adjust to no man's status. Remember, it is 8 of you for 1 of him. So why am I going to lower my standards any lower than the other 8? No, keep your standards. If possible, put them a little higher so all the trash can just stay in the bottom and all the good ones will float on top. But don't low rate your standards for nobody. You hold your course, stay your standards. 22 years old, that was my age. 22 years old, that's when, and you make sure you set your boundaries at the beginning. Don't wait till it's too late, Daisy. Keep your boundaries just where they're at. Don't lower nothing. You keep where you're at. And always to the ones that single out there that's looking, don't dim you to make him feel like he's shining above either. Mm-mm, mm-mm, don't do it. You stay where you at because he's looking for that person. Remember, everybody that low their standards, he already ran through those. He don't want those. He's looking for that one that's going to look different, act different, be different. You don't have to worry about your friends teasing you or telling you're going to get too old. Tell them to hush. They already ruined their lives. So you don't need to give them for no opinions, okay? You stay focused, Daisy. The right one is going to come. It's never too late for the right person in your life. It's better to stay single than to end up marrying someone and you're miserable because you fell in love with the apparel. You fell in love with the things, the material things, and you didn't get to know who the person was. Get to know your Boaz. Ask him the questions. He should not get offended if he really into you the way that you're into him. Okay? So you're doing great. Stay the course. Let them talk. All those ones, they will say, oh my God, you can't even talk to you. You're always mad. Yes, because I'm trying to weed out all the junk so that the real thing can surfer. And let me tell you, where you're at, that may not be where your Boaz is at. Because when I found my husband was not nowhere on the island. I found him on the media. He was in a different country and we found each other on internet. I wasn't looking for him and he didn't know he was going to find me either, but life happens, guys. When you pray for wherever you plant your seed, sometimes God is not going to make you harvest there. He's going to harvest elsewhere. So even though all the ones on my island knew me, but then I was too complicated for them because I was not lowering my standards, but somebody else across the world saw a empty a thing with a no face. I didn't have no face, but the way that I communicated, my personality was what won them over to make them be like, I'm a little curious now. What? Who's this Paulette? There you go. I didn't have to hide that. I didn't have to change. I didn't have never change character of like, okay, I'm gonna change up and switch up. This is what you this is you see, this is what you get. Ain't no switching up, but 1 minute one thing, next minute the other thing. No, Paulette is I've always been this way. Always been this way. I ask a lot of questions, and sometimes asking questions to the ones that's not ready or not, so everybody's on different little levels. Sometimes it can be a little bit much, but the right ones will stay. And all the trash was just moved to the wayside. Okay? But don't stop being you, Daisy. I love that with you. You stay being you. You're 22 years old. You got your whole life ahead of you. Okay? Don't make dumb mistakes by lowering your standards to try to benefit or to drop below your value to give discount to nobody. Don't do it. It's best for you to stay alone and pray to God that one day your Boaz will pop up on you. Okay? But no lowering. All these ladies up here, y'all ain't lowering nothing. And if you did lower back then, I'm watching you. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. You stay the course. Social media say continue to focus on God and yourself. Yes, good advice. Social media says that's right. Tell the truth. That's right, sister. You got to set your boundaries, and that goes for anything you do in life. Make sure that you're setting your boundaries and you're not shortcutting yourself. I am not changing who I am to please nobody's bad behaviors. That's unacceptable. That's it. I have standards. I know what right looks like, and you should know what right looks like as well. Okay? And don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle, guys. Don't ever feel like it's the end of the world and I just gotta get, you end up skipping Boaz and picking up the donkey. Like, who want to do that? Who want to grab the donkey? Nobody wants the donkey. So you better stay focused. Instead of riding the horse, you'll be riding the donkey. Don't do it, guys. Don't lower your standards. Hello, Sister Kadisha. Hope all is well. Welcome in to Life with Paulette. I know I'm behind here, but I'm just letting you all know. I'm catching up. I'm going fast. Social media say 23 years. What a blessing. It sure is. It sure is. When you're going to find that man that's going to love you well. And you're going to find that woman that's going to love you well. And when both of you all lock in for life, trust me. Hey, social media, amen, says Sister Lindsay. Thank God, says, I have found my Boaz now. From time I was 15 years old now, and we are 35 years now going on more by the help of the good Lord. Praise the Lord, Sister Lynn. And I know a smidgen of your story. I can't wait for you to share your story one day. 35 years of marriage. And here I am on 23, and I thought I was doing something. 35 years old. They met each other when she was 15, Sister Lynn. She was 15, and they're 35 years together. And let me tell you, them two, when I tell you about lovebirds, they be like white on rice. I love them. They're two awesome couples. And one day, hopefully she don't be shy and she could come on here and share her love story with us one day. Okay? Hopefully. I'm looking forward. Okay? Let's see what's going on here. Sister Lindsay, mejor solo Sola o no mal acompañada, sis. Yes, that's it. Mejor sola y no mal acompañada. That's right. It best to be alone than to be mal accompanied. Did I get it right? I think I got it right. Yeah, anybody don't want no donkey around them all the time, but who? Nobody want no donkey around them. Stay the course. Stay the course, ladies. Get yourself your horse, okay? Nothing wrong with the donkey because the donkey give word on the on the map when he was talking. Y'all know the story with the donkey that had a conversation. Y'all know the story, but I ain't talking about that kind of donkey. I'm just talking sometimes you could pick duds up just because you couldn't wait. And you pick up somebody that wasn't your Boaz. Okay? Then you're looking around at that number seven, ended up with the Boaz that should have been for you, but because you were so rushed, you let her have him instead because you were too rushed. Stop being so hesitant and wait. Sit down. Ah, okay. Greetings. Okay. Please be respectful to the host who is married. Oh, thank you, social media. Thank you, social media. I don't know what happened, but whatever happened, sis, no. Whatever happened, she just did the did. She got rid of the donkey. There you go, sister. Thank you. She got rid of that donkey. Okay, Sister Lang, mejor. Okay. Social media Paulette said, "Don't get goofy because he's tall." Exactly. A lot of time they go, "Oh my God, he's so tall. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, did you see the color eyes? Oh, did you see his wavy hair? Oh my goodness, did you guys see his lip? Like all these dumb stuff." Let me tell you, beauty fades. Is what's inside of you is what's going to remain. Okay, so y'all could be looking on the outside all your life. That's gonna wrinkle. All of that lips is gonna get all droopy and dry one day. That's not it. Y'all gotta make sure what's on the inside, where the brains is at. Don't be focused on all the outside about his oh my God, did you see how his thighs? Oh, he got a little peach. Oh my God. You all better stop. Y'all better stop. Stop looking at all those outside appearance. Okay? Don't be looking at all his outside appearance, okay? I'm just saying. Y'all stay focused on what is worth, okay? Social media said that was back in the college days, shacking. Boy, did God put that correction on me. Amen. And you know what, sis? Thank you for sharing that because a lot of time the young ladies today, they're not aware that not everybody's going to get it right. A lot of them started off and have been through things in life, but you know what? It made them better today. So their choices that they're making today is much better than what they did yesterday. Okay? At the end of the day, we could start off, and plenty of us up in here, especially the ones that raised up in the church, our parents tried the best with us to make sure we stayed on the yellow brick road. But many had fell off on the train tracks and did their own thing for a little period of time. And guess what? When the Lord decided to zap you, you ended up, correction is hard, but it's so necessary. So at the end of the day, sister Courtney, maybe at the beginning that's where you were at, but look at you today. Things happen, guys. People's going to change. People change. Yes, it's good to see people growth. It's so beautiful to see growth. It's horrible to be seeing misery and bitterness. I don't want to. And we talk about if we talk about sour orange yesterday, today I want to talk about sweet peaches. I want to talk about grapes. I don't want to talk about sour oranges every day. Can we talk about something different, guys? Can we? So we can grow? Can we grow together? Let's do that, okay? Let's do that. So when you're looking for your boys, listen, ask questions, look. You know why? because sometimes you may miss something at the beginning. You only got one chance, only one chance. Social media say, welcome, Brother Endure. How are you today, brother? Welcome in. Good to see you. Brother Endure say, peace and blessing, everyone. This is so true. Marriage is no game. No, it's not. Marriage is not for the cowards, okay? And yes, when you married, good, bad, and indifference, because you're learning her and she's learning you. When I got married, are you talking about like a lot of shoes? Because I love shoes. I'm a shoe person. I love all the different color shoes. My husband had 4 pair of shoes to my 30. And I'm not exaggerating. I had a lot of shoes. I had to get rid of some shoes. But at the end of the day, guys, what I'm saying is you're going to eventually have to meet halfway and adjust. You got to adjust yourself. I couldn't bring in a 1 bedroom apartment 30 pairs of shoes. The man didn't have nowhere to put his shoes. His little 4 shoes, which was a black shoe, a brown shoe, a tennis shoes, and his boots. That's all he had. That's all he needed for him as a single man. That's all he needed. When I went in his apartment, every corner was clean. He was very tidy. He had all that going for him. When I came in with all of my junk. I had the whole closet taken over. I had the whole 30 pairs of shoes on the floor. Every corner had shoes. It was like all over the room. In every corner, there was a portion of my shoes there. Why? I can't bring that. But at that time, that's where I was at. I was single. I was smart. My parents and the place that I worked at, they helped sponsor me to go to college. So at the end, guys, guess what? When I worked for my money, I could have gone and I could spend it. So I went and I bought shoes because I think that if I had on a green, bandana, and back then I wore bandanas too. So this is not new for me. This is not new. This is the same old Paulette that tied her head the whole time because I thought it was cool. It was cool, and then all of a sudden, now the celebrities are tying up their head because they feel like modesty is back in fashion. Well, tying your head, I always tie my head because my hair was natural, and when it was shorter, it used to be so puffy. I used to have to tie it down. So this of the tying of the hair was always part of my routine. I always had different bandana. Now I didn't do the full head. It would always just like this, or I would put it on like this. And that was it. So now it's like second nature now. My head is gonna be tied. But at the end of the day, guys, what I'm saying is that you have to downsize. You have to change your little self when you find your partner. You can't bring that old nasty little behaviors. You know how you used to treat your brothers and your sisters back then because you were the oldest and you didn't want them in your room, so you would just throw their things out. Not that I did that, but I'm just saying, you have some brothers and sisters that just don't make it, and they're the same age, so they have more little stuff going on. But I'm just saying that I have a bedroom for myself. I always had my own bedroom. So all my shoes will always be in my space. But when you having to share and you're becoming one, you may have to cut off some shoes. So I had to cut off some shoes. He actually laughed at me. I remember when we got married and we moved into the apartment. I had so much stuff. I had so much stuff. Guys, I had me suitcases. I had all tops. I was in college back then, all bottoms, shoes. I had so much shoes. And I didn't even bring all my shoes. There were only some of my shoes. And he laughed at me. He was like, where are you going? Where are you going? It's so much stuff that you're bringing with you. Look at it. And I was like, I'm sorry. So I had to downsize. Yes, I had to downsize a lot of the shoes. So most of the purple and green and orange and stuff shoes had to go because it couldn't fit in his space. So Brother Endor says, yes, sis, I can't wait for your baptism. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. I'm looking forward to, as soon as I finish here, I need to go and get more information in regards to that, to figure out the process and how it works. Let me get down these comments. Sister Nicole, welcome in. How are you today? Oh my gosh, yes, sermon today, Sister Nicole, was awesome. I'm telling you, sermon today was very good. I was so relieved. I mean, Pastor, Let me tell you, it was good. Sermon was good, and I don't even know what else to say, but it was awesome. So I'm going to go back and re-listen to it. That's how good it was. Okay, it was very good, and I just want everybody to know that. If you haven't listened to it, go ahead and listen to it. Okay, listen to it, and if you listen to it, listen to it again, because a whole lot of information up in there that was great. That was great. Pastor just hit some good nuggets up in there, and when he mentioned Hawaii, I thought he was on a Pacific island. Last time I checked that ticket over there in New Zealand it's like a couple $1,000, guys. It's like, oh my God, Pastor, I guess I'll have to wait till you come to Honolulu. But then today, you know how God works sometimes. He listens to prayer. And I may not get, for this year, I will have to go and travel to another island that's a little bit closer than the other Fiji island. Um, their tickets was 2200 dollars, to get there one way. So I was like, well, Lord, send something closer. And then he sent me right Hilo, which is the big island away from Oahu, which is closer. So I did get a second option to deal with. So since Pastor mentioned that today, I'm going to see, I'm going to look into things. I need to re-listen to see the name of the hotel and try to figure out, how I can get in and get out, because I got to come and attend the kids. But we're looking forward to that. I have my Boaz, Sister Paulette. I know you got your zaddy. Sister Nicole and her zaddy. You got your zaddy. Yes, I tell you, you got your Boaz. Yes, we all have our Boaz, and that's the good thing. When you find yourself your Boaz, that's about all it takes. You're very blessed when you find your Boaz. I could tell you that. Nicole says, Sister Paulette, we need to have an open chat panel live so I can talk to her sisters about these crazy men. Yeah, Sister Nicole, when do you want to have this open live? Because I'm ready today. I just realized I did not went on my StreamYard today. I'm on the other computer, and I think I just hit the thing and didn't click, and I was like, oh, I'm on a StreamYard. I need to go on StreamYard. So if you're ready today, just say, sis, I'm gonna pull up so we can have this conversation. Because when I thought about it, I said, you know what? This is going to be great for us to talk about. All my married sisters that's out there, share. Let's see how you got your Boaz. Maybe it can help somebody else, or somebody else is on their journey. All my single sisters that's looking, and you can see what things you can capture. Eat the little piece of meat and leave the bones. Every one of us is different. What excites you may not be the same thing that excites me. However, though, my some of my experience may be something that you can just take little notes and say, well, da 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 da, and you move on and try to figure it out. But let me tell you, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Sister Nicole. It's beautiful. Yes, you say, talk about Nicole. The devil will have you thinking that you have to lower your standards. Amen, Sister Nicole. To get a man, but that is a trick of the enemy. Right now, while you're single, you have less aggravation. Trust me on that. Exactly. Because the moment you decide to get married, that's when you're under attack. It's like, oh, this, did you see? Ooh, that. Because you all got to learn each other. So I would say my first 3 years of marriage for me, and I don't know, Sister Nicole is still in here. She probably can say, she could probably give from her perspective. But my first 3 years was the molding stage, because you have to get used to the person. You got to get used to personalities that when you're single by yourself, you don't have to deal with. If you're upset with yourself, you're going to take a nice cold shower and you go to bed. But if you just not having your way, because most of the time with us women, we can get very emotional because we can't have our way, so we're emotional. So we're gonna, we may roll our eyes or twitch our hips a different way because We want ice in our water, and the water is not cold enough. So we were upset. And we, for simple little things, you know? So at the end of the day, guys, you learn how to deal with situations. So my first 3 years, I had to learn personality. I had to learn that my husband was in the military, and they deploy to Iraq, and he's in a war zone, and one day he may not come home for me. So I think the appreciation of knowing that he was in danger zone, and then he was a pilot, so he flew all the danger planes. So at the end of the day, that gave me so much appreciation that when he was in the present and we were together, it was always like, when I move, you move, just like that. That's a relationship. When he had to move to Hawaii, he could have come for 1 year, but he was like, we're not separating. We're going to go together. If something happens, I want to make sure that you know this is the book. We have a book that from the beginning of our marriage where he sat down with all the finances, all of the everything, the insurance, the number that I have to call if something would have happened to him. Like, it was traumatizing at the beginning of my marriage, but at the end of the day, guys, just want you to know it also gives me more appreciation for having my husband next to me, because I knew that at any time he could have, when he leave, he may not come back. So that was a little bit overwhelming at the beginning, because you don't know, you just don't know. So appreciation, I'm all about gratitude, I'm all about loving in the moment as well, because you don't know tomorrow. When you say, okay, I see you later, later may never come. Okay, so if you have a spouse, love them well. Love them well. Let them know how grateful you are. Let them know how appreciative you are for the things that they already did, that they're doing, and or they could have done a little bit better. You're still grateful for what they did do. Like, make sure that they're hearing these things. And yesterday I talked about the book called The Five Love Language. Go ahead and buy the five love language. Find out which one you are. Find out which one he is, because also in my first 3 years, I had to find out that my hot button, the things that I enjoy, that was not his hot button. I love gift. He don't care for gift. I like affirmations. My husband don't care for affirmation. Okay, he is a together person. If he's fixing the car, I hold the wheels. If he's washing the cars, I hold the hose and spray the water, and like, he likes that as his hot button. If he's sitting, quality time is his favorite. Like, if right now, by the time I stop with you guys, we can go in and we gonna sit down 2 to 3 seconds with each other, and I'm gonna give quality time, and we're gonna talk about whatever. And that's what his love language is. For me, I don't need all of that. So we were opposite. So I had to meet him halfway. So you learn where you're gonna have to bend a little bit, because you will have to bend sooner or later. If the first 3 years of your marriage you didn't bend and adjust, trust me, on the seventh round, on the year seven, if you survive, you will bend. And then the next round of whipping that you're gonna get to, because remember, you're being molded, because you becoming that one. So on my 7th year was another little thing we have to get adjusted. Now from deployment, you have to come home, and then I'm dealing with all the finances all alone when he's deployed. And now when he come home, now he want his position, and I'm like, wait a minute, you gotta give me time. I need to adjust to hand it back over to you, because I've been doing it for the last year, 2 years by myself here. Hello. So that's another thing. But you guys may not have a military spouse, but that's one thing. When they deploy, they always let them know, I love the spouse to hand you back the task bit by bit, because when you turn around and you pull that back, like, remember, she's on autopilot with the kids and dealing with everything, and you're away for 1 year when you come back. So that was the 7th year of my marriage. That was mine, that I had to learn how to, like, and now all of a sudden, the Lord's gonna come right in and be like, come on, girl, let's push you over the top. And when we get over the top, then we went smooth. And then on year 20, you're going to have a little bit of, you know, something, because you're growing and you're getting older, and back then, the little spank or the little, the little cuddle, that may be what's cool, but now you're feeling like you're older now. So, the whole thing, you're learning as you go, you're growing together as well. So each stages, you're going to have things where that growing process is going to be you're going to be groaning process, because it's going to be a little bit, but you can push through with the help of the good Lord. So you push through and don't allow the devil to distract you, because it's a journey. Marriage is not for the wimpish man nor woman, and it's for the strong is going to survive. And if you know that your Boaz, that's it. You already choose him, and he chose his little Naomi. Guess what? You ain't going nowhere, and he ain't going nowhere. So you all just push through and ask the Lord to push you over the fence one more year, and you just go about your business. So at this point, like I mentioned to you, all my single, don't get scared when I say push over. I'm just saying that life is gonna be lifing, because kids is gonna come in then. So you and him have a little routine, and then when the kids get in, that it changes the dynamic of things, so you will have to figure that out too. So it's just a lot of growing and grooming together, but it's so beautiful, guys. It is so beautiful. When I tell you, I could look him in the eye and I could say, babe, thank you for loving me well. And he can say, you should see his face just lights up, because I make sure that my man know I appreciate him, and every little thing that he do, everything that man do, I am grateful for. Okay, because I look around to the right and the left, and many is not in your position. There's many out there wish they were in your position, but they don't have the opportunity. So if you got a husband, you tell him that thank you for loving you well. Okay, because many out there don't have the opportunities. Sister Nicole, to the devil will have you. Okay, Sister Nicole said, like I always say, if you can't hold out from fornication, just pick what type of crazy man you want and marry it. Exactly, Sister Nicole. Sometimes people rush, and there's no need to be rushing. Like I said, find things that you could do and take your mind off of it. But like I say, you mentioned the fornication portion, so I don't know, I think it's before you married, but a lot of times you could just focus on other things. Find something that's going to occupy your time, so you're not so much focused on all the extra stuff. And I know for some that's working on celibacy, it probably, it's hard, especially if you've been active and then you go passive, and now active and passive, and that could probably be a little battle for some. But focus on other things that's going to keep you distracted from that portion of your life, and then you just wait well. Make sure you're waiting well too, not rushing. um so, hold on. Pick what to. Okay. Nicole said, I'm 2 years into marriage, sis. I'm just getting started. Pray for me to make 25. Amen. Girl, you're going to make 25. You don't worry about that, Sister Nicole. You're going to make it 25. You're going to be 30. But I know we'll be talking about 50 years of marriage pretty soon. Okay. You'll be just fine, sis. You both will be just fine, because, at the end of the day, sometimes we just need to stop, reflect, acknowledge the situation, rethink about it, and keep it moving. And even in marriages, you got to stop sometimes and reflect. You're like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. I wouldn't do it the other way. I wouldn't do it the other way. And then all of a sudden you're like, his idea is probably a little bit better. And sometimes when you sit down and rethink it, you'll see it would all work out. Everything will go just perfect. Um, Hello, Sister Tanya. How are you today? Sister Nicole said, I'm doing wonderful. So I'm so glad to hear that, Sister Tanya. Glad to hear that, Sister. Okay. They're talking with each other. Sister Nicole say, that is so true. The first 3 years of making and molding stage, because I'm going through that right now. 3 years deliverance, and we and we come back more happier and stronger when it's all over. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just because you're that individual. You're two individuals that has two different opinions on things, and then we have to get used to knowing and making sure, you know, your husband is the head. So if your husband is the head and you're used to leading, sometimes you're going to have a little, because you've been so single for so long and everything, all your decisions you're doing by yourself. But the moment you marry that person, somebody has to fall back. And you know the husband is the first. So you got to be the one to adjust your sail. It's not that he's going to be like, I think Sister Nicole, a few months ago when I did we had a relationship conversation, and she's like, some guys like to take, that out of proportion sometimes. So what I'm saying is, that don't mean that he's your boss. It just means that's the way that God chose it to be. So you got to know your place. He's not bossing you around like some of the feminists be like, yeah, no man bossing me around. I ain't doing it. Oh, stop it. You're gonna be single for the rest of your life with that attitude. I'm just saying. If you're that, you're gonna be. That's why he ended up picking number 7 and skipped number 6. Okay, which was you. So don't be miserable and bitter. And also, guys, a man could see straight through a woman. So you could pretend all you want. You could try to put on whatever facade you want, but they have those eagle eyes. They can see straight through you. So if you coming in there a little crooked, they already saw it. They just don't say a lot. They just adjust themselves. Have you all noticed that men has that sense too? And we think they don't know. They're just as smart as anything. They can see straight through you. They can see all the wickedness, all the misery. And they'll be like, I'm marrying her. She's too miserable. I'm marrying her. She's unforgiving. Oh, I'm marrying her. She got some bitterness going on in her. Oh, I'm marrying her. She ain't teachable. Guys can see the foolishness. Make sure that you adjusting you. Because if you're looking for your Boaz and you coming in there with all that junk, they ain't want it either. They ain't want it. They ain't want it. They're gonna pick number 7 and leave number 6 right there. They're gonna skip you because it's 8 of us for one of them. And when they're gonna choose foolishness, guys, some of them they do foolishness at the beginning, but when they're looking for their Naomi, they're gonna pick the right one because they can see straight through all the foolishness because they already did tryouts. These guys been doing tryouts. They can see, they can see straight through. Okay, so make sure your spirit and the feces within your worship is cleaned up. Make sure that you have the right spirit within you because the guys can see it. And you may be sitting very long if you don't adjust yourself and check yourself. So, just a little hint for my single sisters out there that's looking for their Boaz. Sister Nicole said, oh no, my husband likes to do it all. That's his love language. He likes to do it all, mean around the house, or he likes compliment. He like the 5 love language. I'm gonna have to send you the book, Sister Nicole. You gotta read the book. But if your husband like to do it all, that's awesome. In right now we change role in my household. So my husband, he can do laundry, he can, he clean up, he does. Let me tell you, I don't have to say nothing. Anything, if you see a cup broke and it just fell out of nowhere, he's gone there and he's doing what he's supposed to do. That he's a handyman. That's another thing. Nobody don't want to be. What was the handyman? What was his name? The little cartoon, handyman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I can't remember. But anyway, the little handyman. You can have your own handyman. It's one thing when your husband can do a whole lot, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing in itself. Sister Nicole is laughing. Okay, Sister Nicole says, of course, a man knows that's why he plays game with woman who's timid and weak. Yeah, or he does. Man can see straight through you. I mean, and that's the sad part too, because a lot of time the ladies, we're not aware. We thinking that oh yeah, we got him. No, you don't. You don't got nothing. You don't. He can see you. Well, I mean, I've been dating him for 20 years and he have not proposed to me yet because he know you. He can see through you. And he don't want to live the rest of his life with you. So, I'm just saying. Life is going to be life, and those guys can see straight through you. So if you're with any woman that has, or you're dating somebody, and I don't, and holiness, we say courting somebody, and their behavior is just off. A man may not want that. A man may be looking for something else. So that's why it's eight of you guys. I already said there's eight women for one man. That's how scanty they are. Hello, Sister Mercy. Welcome in. Yes, we are about to wrap up in a little bit. I was just going through the comments and getting it out of the way. But yeah, I was just sharing the story of how I met my Boaz, and I just wanted to share that today so that we all could understand, a little bit about Paulette. That's what we want to talk about. A little bit about Paulette, and give you guys a little extra intel there. Of course, okay, Nicole, of course, a man knows that's why he plays games. Yes, yes, Nicole said they can most definitely see straight through you just to see if they can run a game on a female. That's right. You're right about that, Sister Nicole. Let's see. Nicole, 20 years, that is crazy. I just threw that number out there, sis. I'm just saying, if it's 20 years, it could be 10, it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7 years, it could be 1 year, it could be 1 week, 2 weeks. I just threw that number out there in general because sometimes we be waiting for certain things, and at the end of the day, he probably saw something already that you have not revealed, and that's why he's playing. Or he's probably, having his eyes on number 8, or number 1 may be a little bit better fit for what he needs or he's looking for, because everybody's matching up. When you're single out there, it's tough because everybody out there else is trying to match up with that one person or two people that's out there left in the world that willing to do the right thing. So just be cautious, guys. Just be cautious. Be ready. Mercy Carr says, Sister Mercy say, you are looking beautiful. Oh, thank you, sister. Aw. Thank you. You're so awesome, Sister Mercy. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Today's topic was talking about how I met my Boaz, and which is my husband, and I wanted to share that with you guys so that way you can see why I'm always so happy, because I got my Boaz, guys. I got my Boaz, and hopefully my single brothers can find their Naomi as well. But at the end of the day, guys, I just want you to know that it's such a blessing to find your other half. And that rib, okay, he's much, I got his rib, I can tell you that. And he was not even planted in my space, he was in a different country, okay, and the Lord sent him to me. So what is for you is for you, and nobody can take that away from you, only God. Sister Marcus said a year and a half is pushing it for me, because my husband married me 1 month and I've been happy ever since. Amen. And that's true. Sometimes like I tell you, what's for you is for you, Sister Nicole. Nobody can take that away from you. Mine soon was, we communicated for 1 year, and April he came in. He met my parents the 22nd of May. I was married the 23rd of November. And the only reason I got married in the 23rd of November because I wanted to graduate. I promised my grandmother I was going to finish off with school, get my degree, and then I was going to marry and do what I had to do. And that's just what I did. I graduated, and then right that same year, my graduation was the following year, May, but I finished schooling that December. So, everything just went off the play. And that's how it works, girl. We got to have this conversation on a panel next week, sis. Oh, Sister Nicole, I'm going to hold you to it. Listen, no, one thing you don't do with Paulette is tell Paulette a plan, because I'm going to make sure you follow through with that plan, okay? I did not, my thumbs up for real. Yes, indeed. I did do my thumbs up. You did your thumbs up? Yeah. There you go, sister. If you're just coming in, hit your thumbs up. Hello, Brother Bob T. Brother Bob T, we were talking about finding our Boaz. You know, how I found my Boaz, my husband, and then I give the little bit of tips and tricks for girls, single girls that's looking for their Boaz. And Sister Nicole also shared a few tips and myself in regards to, Boaz looking for Naomi. I mean, we just want to make sure to let everybody know that your Naomi is out there, and your Boaz is out there. Just don't lower your standards and do everything following the scriptures and God's way. Don't do it. Don't try to sugarcoat it and shortcut nothing. It will come. And for those that had their, thought they had their Boaz and thought they had their Naomi and it didn't work out at that moment in time, just know that God has a plan. And maybe he has not revealed your plans yet because you are stuck already, with or without Boaz. Boaz probably left and left you behind, or Naomi left you behind. But just know that God still has a plan. Keep following what the scripture says. Do not get weary in well doing, because I know it's tough. I know it's not easy for those that already, committed to each other and then ended up having to go separate ways. Just know that God has a plans for you, and do not get weary in well doing, because just like how he could turn the water into wine and do all those miracles, there's a miracle for you too, just not right now. Okay? So I just want to put that out. Root. Was it Root? Did I say it wrong? No, Ruth, the mother-in-law. I thought her name was Naomi. Sister Nicole. Okay, hold on. I'm backed up. Greetings, Brother Bob T. Amen, Sister Paulette. When you meet your real one, you and him will know it right then and there, and no letting go. Amen, Sister Mercy. You got that right. No letting go. We be having our eyes are on like hawks. We looking. We looking. We looking. That's right. Nicole say, Paulette, I'm not hard to find. Just text me when you going to live against it. Okay, Sister Nicole, I'm gonna group me you. I think that I'm gonna group me. I'm gonna send that text to you so that way, we coming on, because girl, that's all I needed. That's all I need. We gonna do some stories. Only now I got stories in my bag, okay, sister? And I know you got some stories, so I can't wait for it. So next week, guys, you heard Sister Nicole said it out of her own mouth. And by the way, we gonna be on with Crying Baby or not. Because we going on because we need to share how beautiful marriage is. It's not easy, but it's definitely beautiful. And I feel, oh, Ruth married Boaz. Well, who was Naomi? I got it up. That's why woman don't be talking those scriptures, okay? I thought I had the right name. Well, anyway, I got Boaz right. And it was Sister Nicole said it was Ruth. Ruth married Boaz, not Naomi. Okay? All right. Get it right now. I'm clarifying. I use I use the other name. Well, why was I texting? Sister Nicole, you were answering. So you deleted it now. Okay, then I got an email. All right, I'll figure out how to get a hold of you then. Okay, I will. I'll get you, sister. All right, Sister Mark. So yeah, I said it was Naomi, but it was Ruth, according to Sister Nicole. So I stated the wrong individual, but we had Boaz right. You see, I told you all. It's like 8 women for one man. So of course you're gonna get all confused sometimes. So I said Naomi. It's not Naomi. It is Ruth that found her Boaz. That's what Sister Nicole said, and you know she has her scriptures pulled out in front of her. And this is why women don't talk about scriptures, because sometimes, we just get it wrong. You know, I apologize for that. I was just so excited about Boaz, I forgot about Ruth. Ugh, I gave him Naomi. I think Naomi was a mother-in-law. Eh? One was a mother-in-law, the other one was a sister-in-law. Okay, that's it. So go back to your Bibles, guys. Go back to those scriptures. Pull them out and get it right, okay? Because Paulette, I got the wrong name. All right, all right. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at right here. Nicole said a year and a half. No, I already said that. Nicole said Paulette, I'm not hard to find. Okay, sis, I got you. So next week, me and Sister Nicole, we coming on hot, okay? Hot. All right. That's gonna be a good topic. We're gonna have topic number 2 for how I found my Boaz version 1, and then we're gonna have how I found my Boaz number 2. And Sister Nicole is gonna come on here with me. We're gonna do it the right way next time. We're gonna go and do StreamYard so we can pull her on for next week. So we're gonna be talking. Sister Mercy said, Amen. That's right, Sister Paulette. Hold that, stand up for real. God is in control. Just patience and wait for real. Amen, sister. That's right. Ruth married Boaz, Sister Paulette. Okay, I got it now. Sister Nicole said, I don't have, okay. Got it, sis. Got it, sis. Okay. Yes, that's right. That's right. Let me see. Let me see. Ruth and Naomi were in laws. Okay, got it now. See, I know it was some in laws thing, you know. I know it was some in laws thing. But I'm just saying. Nicole said Ruth got married to Boaz and then had a son named Obed. Okay, got it. Naomi was the mother-in-law. There we go. There we go. See, clarification. Thank you, sisters. See how I love my sisters? You all be coming in and you all make sure you clarify, okay? Because sometimes I could be talking and things need to be clarified. It's nothing wrong with clarifying things. That's why I love when people, constructive criticism is always awesome and you're given correct things so that the individual could be better. All right. So there we go. So Mystical said, Hi, sister. Hello, Mystical. Welcome again. Hope all is well. Me and you gotta turn the chat up, says, So next week, okay, I'll be waiting then. Well, guys, we are already at 1 hour and 55 minutes. And I just want you all to know this has been an amazing conversation. We need to have more of these. Patrick T, love and happiness. Love and happiness to you too, Pat. I mean, we're wrapping it up. You had all the girls up in here. We were talking about Boaz, how I met my Boaz, how to find your right um, spouse, and we were just talking about the people that's married, and then we were giving ideas and tips about the one that's looking and not a spouse yet. So, I mean, it's been a great conversation. Great conversation, Pat. I'm so glad that you came in. And I appreciate you for coming in, Pat. It's been already an hour and something. My dad has 12 years with my mom. Oh, awesome. Congratulations then, Mythical. ¿Cómo estás, hermana? Okay, todo está bien. Todo bien, hermana. Um, Sister Nicole say, oh, she's talking to Patrick. That's an old song. What song? Love, love and happiness. I didn't even know that was a song. Which song is that, Pat? I know about love and marriage, love and marriage. I don't know about love and happiness. Who sing that one, Pat? Pat, here you go with these songs. You sure you're not a singer? You can see Pat there behind the mic. I know Pat be singing. He got other skills. Oh, by Al Green. Oh, Sister Mercy. Oh, Sister Mercy said by Al Green. You all know it too. Oh, Mythical, you're a singer too. Where are you originally from, Mythical? You sound like you're probably from Spain. Where I have a book on the topic. All the holiness sisters know about it. Oh, really? Awesome. Awesome. Well, next week, Sister Nicole says she's going to come on and we're going to have part two of this conversation, Pat. So make sure that you come back next week, Sunday, God's will. And we're going to just open it up and everybody's we're just going to share. I already shared this week. Sister Nicole is going to share about her Boaz because we want to give hope to all my little single sisters out there and single brothers that there's hope. You just have to wait, stay the course, and God is going to bless you on his timing, not yours. So with that, guys, anybody have any final thoughts? Any final um little statements or anything you all want to say, you could just drop it in the text below. But with that, guys, I'm done. I think I shared everything with you guys. So next week we could pick up where we left off. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for, coming in and, being a part of this live. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I know that, it's Sunday and you guys have family time after, because I know I sure do. But I wanted to come on here and just share, open up a little bit with you guys so you all can know how it is and where it is that how me and my husband met, and, for 20, going on 23 year, you know, what's going on, and how it is that marriage is not for the weak. Marriage is not for the cowards either. Marriage is only the strong. So, with that, guys, I am finished. God bless you. Missed the conversation. I'm so sorry I'm late. No worries, sister. And for those that just coming in, just go back and re-listen if you want to, gain a little bit more extra information on it. Like what Brother John said, leave a comment after the video. Thank you. He always makes sure he put that on everybody's thing. And I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate my moderators for coming in and supporting, whenever you get a little chance. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.